Testing, 1 2 1 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of As the Sports World Burns. My name is Tony Burns. As of today is July 31st. I said it because it was the passing today. Basketball legend Bill Russell passed away today at the age of 88. He was a Boston Celtic, I guess the winningest team player, one of the winningest team players of all time. One of the great defensive players. The thing about Bill Russell, the basketball was probably the least of his accomplishments. He was one of the great civil rights activists in the 60s, 70s. He stood beside Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown and fought for the rights of African Americans in this country. The people in those days endured things that young people today would find just unbelievable. They don't even believe it's possible. And that's why it's one reason I think it's so sad that Bill Russell's death, his passing, is I am African American, if you couldn't tell. And I worry that we as a people were losing our historical knowledge. I think it's getting to the point where as our legendary Black activists pass away, we're losing a piece of our history, and that we desperately need to hold on to. Is getting to the point where at some point Black people in America aren't going to know how we got here. We're not going to know what we went through, what our ancestors went through. We're not going to realize how far we've come as a people. We're not going to know how much blood was spilled for us to be able to live the way we do. And that's terrible. It's something that as Black people, we really need to hold on to that history. I don't know what it's frustrating for me. I know just when they're talking about removing the Civil War statues and all that, I was against it because that's history. It's not proud history for us. It's not something that was happy history, but it's history. It happened. You can't ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. And as more of our elder Black people pass away, it just seems as though we're just eager to pretend that the 60s and 50s and 40s, that they never existed, that the world for Black people began in 2015 or something. And it's tragic. I'm not sure that any other group of people view their history in the same way. But we need to really make an effort to pass down to the next generation and the next generation who we are, how we got here, what we overcame. I worry about it. It's one of my greatest fears is that someday our people won't remember the struggle. RIP to Bill Russell, one of the great African American athletes, and more importantly, activists. We only have a few left. Top 5 black athletes of the 60s. Number 5, Hank Aaron, baseball, home run leader. Number 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, formerly known as Lou Alcindor. Number 3, Bill Russell. Number 2, Jim Brown, NFL great. And number 1, of course, the greatest, Muhammad Ali. Thank you so much for listening. As you were.